Hey, welcome to the Exponential Europe podcast. My name is Jason Lim. I get to be part of what God is doing through Exponential in Germany. And I am taking you on this journey to getting to know some of the people that make up the community, because that's what Exponential Europe is. We are a community with a cause. We want to see reproduction and multiplication become the norm again in the behavior and the language of the church in Europe. And we're meeting some of the faces of Exponential Europe. We're meeting some of the brains too. Some wonderful insights into both what God is doing and some key principles around multiplication. And I'm sitting with one of the experts of Europe here, Kenno. Now, I actually don't know your full name. What's your full name?
Kenno Leier.
Kenno Leier.
Yes.
But you are a researcher from Finland.
Yes, I'm
Is that accurate?
I'm both
Yeah?
practitioner and also academic.
Those are the best academics.
So I'm church planter, church leader, but also I've had always this part in me that I have to understand why. So this is why I have like 2 masters on church revitalization and planting, and now I'm working with PhD in the University of Helsinki as kind of side
Project. What's your PhD in? PhD in theology or PhD in?
It's on practical theology. So I'm studying some of the churches in Europe which have become movements. And I want to understand that what is the environment and why they really succeeded. You know, there are
How far back are you going?
not too far. We are talking about probably in years, probably like 70s, 1970s,
Wow,
1980s.
okay. So in recent.
One of the churches is Holy Trinity Brompton.
Yeah.
Main church.
Yeah.
What I'm studying and trying to really understand that, you know, there were many churches who had renewal, like when John Wimber came to UK and all that happened. But why this happened, what happened in HTB?
Yeah.
So that it became global movement.
Interesting.
Through Alpha and also through church planting. So yeah, this is, of course, you can say that that was just God's plan. But maybe
that would make for a very short PhD.
Yes. But maybe there is something what we need to learn, really.
I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's back up to maybe a little bit of your life story.
Yeah.
You're from Finland, is that correct? You're not really. You're from Estonia.
Yes.
Wait, help me. Like, which part is Estonia? Which part is Finnish?
Yeah. So I born in Estonia. I lived in Estonia first 20 years. And so I became to Christ in Estonia in the revival when Soviet Union collapsed. So I was part of that revival where God find me, really.
So you grow up in a non-Christian home.
Yes, I grew up in communist home.
I didn't want to presume, but
yes.
And then, what was your encounter with Jesus?
Well, you know, on that time, many people it was kind of, you know, I think church has nothing to do with this revival happened. It was in society. People just. They turned to church, you know. It was because it was forbidden in the communist time. Now it was allowed. So the freedom was there. So everyone went to church, or almost everyone. So I was growing up in little village in western Estonia.
Can I just...
Yeah.
That's an interesting statement you just made. I'm still understanding.
Yeah.
So you said it was a revival that was happening not in and through the church, but outside the church, because of the societal factors. And with the fall of the fall of communism, why did the people in there freedom turn to the churches? Is that because that's the only thing? Like, what? It's you made it sound so. Of course, they all went to the church. Like, but what was?
I
what
think,
did they come with to the church? What questions? What was driving them?
Yeah, you know, there are some signs of freedom. What you can do when you are free. So church, pornography, you know, everything what was, you know, in communist nation or the Soviet Union, you know, certain things were forbidden. You know, it was not allowed. Church was one of them.
And that was always said, church is not allowed. This is forbidden.
Well, it was, of course, you know, it was kind of, we have churches, yes, but in reality, it was underground church.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now that it was free to do that, you were curious? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was kind of like most normal thing to do was, you know, I was a teenager when, with my friends, we went to the baptism and confirmation in the Lutheran church just because this was, you know, sign of freedom for us. We can do that. We can do that, yeah. So when I had this Lutheran baptism, and, you know, I went there with my friends, you know, something happened. And it was like something I never experienced before. Like, almost like someone has opened the window or maybe a little bit door to something what I never experienced in my feelings. So it was most powerful experience also in my feelings what happened to me when, you know, with a very little water.
The Lutheran way, yeah.
But my experience was that, wow, you know, what just happened? This was like, okay, there must be something else. And this was how my search really started.
How old were you when this happened?
I think I was probably 14. Wow. Yeah.
Incredible.
Because that's the age where you're usually going to the confirmation. And then it was, I started to hang out with the people from the church, and also I found in our village little prayer house, which was free church. And I'm always been active with music and bands and choirs and all that. So we were looking for space to practice. So I went to.
What do you play?
Little bit everything. But in that point, I was just leading the choir and playing guitar, I think.
Wow.
And we were thinking that, hey, there is this prayer house. They have meetings only on Sundays. If we can, you know, practice on the weekdays? And I think this pastor, his name is Raivo, and he became a very important person for me. So Raivo, when he heard that, okay, oh, you want a space? His immediate response was that, yes, you can come, but you have to practice also spiritual songs. So this was not spiritual choir at all. And you have to sing once a month in our service.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And so this was the process where, you know, one by one, all of us came to Jesus.
Through the songs or through the community?
Through the everything. I think community wasn't really, you know, it was a few old ladies and it wasn't very...
You can have community with old ladies.
But the thing that, you know, revival happened in our small village. Most of the young people came to the prayer house.
That's incredible.
And so we knew all the young people who didn't come, and there were very few. But unfortunately, these days when I look back, then I think at least from these young people who came to Jesus, on that time, I think most of them are not related anymore with the church. Yeah.
Why do you think that was? A lack of
And this
discipleship?
is, well, there is not yet study. I think I've tried to find that is there studies out there happened, where someone studied what happened to the former communist countries, because I think the story was in Latvia, in Lithuania, in different nations, the same thing.
That there was a peak, there was something that happened,
yeah.
But then not many people actually stayed with the faith, you think, or is it?
Yeah. And I think this is happening when revival is happening because of something is happening in the society. So it wasn't something for what church was ready.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah. So like church was, now there is one study. It was master thesis, and it just came out, I think, maybe last week. Former president of Baptist Union in Estonia, he studied what happened, or all the documentation of the Baptist Union board and the elders board. What were discussions in the protocols?
Oh, the protocols,
like the
notes.
official stuff.
Oh my gosh, poor guy, he read through all that.
So, and you know what he discovered? He doesn't see revival in these protocols.
Mentioned at all.
No.
So they were talking about what was going on and asking, okay, how do we respond?
Yeah, only once there was someone who came up with something that, hey, our evangelism should be more relations-based, which was in language back then, it was, that we need to disciple. But basically, he was voted down.
Wow.
So denominations, basically, they continued in the same way.
And didn't respond to the move of God.
Yeah. They didn't see that, what kind of help churches needed, really. Churches were not ready for what God was doing in the society.
That's interesting. It's making me think of, I've been at so many Persian baptisms of people from Iran especially.
Yep.
Coming to faith. And I don't know of all those baptisms I've been to, how many actually are still walking with Jesus. Because again, it was an external factor. It was a sign of freedom out of their regime. This is Islamic regime.
Yeah.
And because, you have to have a faith or a religion.
Yeah.
But now we don't have to do Islam anymore. Oh, we're in Germany. We'll become Christians. And there was an openness, definitely. We saw a lot. I was at so many baptisms, very moving stories.
Yeah.
But then a couple of years down the line from that, I've never made that correlation. The church was very happy with these people coming to faith, but then we were not prepared, also not culturally prepared for dealing with what do we do now on the discipleship end of it.
The same happened in Finland. Myself, I think I've baptized probably 30, 40, or maybe even more Iranians. We really tried to disciple, but I think there is something else as well. And sometimes the old comes back, and it's kind of...
And fighting in
conflicts
that they have with one another too, a lot of that.
I think probably the easiest is to blame church of the lack of discipleship, but I think this is not the whole story.
Yeah.
There are so many things.
So many layers.
Yes, so many layers, exactly. But one fact in the revival times back in Estonia, so what Erkki, my friend, studied, there was usually like maybe 1,000 young people involved in the whole denomination, in communist time. When freedom came, it went up to 6,800
Wow.
in small denomination, in small nation.
That's huge jump.
So I was
And
one
in the
of these.
span of like
2 years.
2 years, that's
Yeah.
huge.
And then it came down to 1,200.
So almost back to.
Yeah. So
And how long did it take for it to go back down?
I don't remember exactly, but I think it was small, like really short time window, kind of.
Interesting.
2-3 years, I think, was really the window of doing it.
It'd be interesting to interview
Yeah.
those people now, like your generation of like when you think back to that, how would they describe it?
Yeah. Well, I agree, and I was almost, and maybe I will,
You've got 2
change
masters. You can do 2 PhDs. Come on, Kenno.
well, but it is because I think there is no data, and I would love to ask that. Why did you leave?
Yeah.
Can you say now, like
Yeah.
30 years after, that what was the reason?
Why not just stay
why
with
did
it?
you stay? Yeah. Because I think what is happening now in Europe, especially UK and Nordic, where we are seeing exactly the same thing, that the church has nothing to do with the revival around it, or people who are, young people who are asking that who is Jesus?
Wow.
I want to know more about Jesus. So this kind of outward, people are just coming to church. So my question is that what we can learn from previous revival.
Yeah.
How we should act.
So that we don't repeat our mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
So this is my big question, and then my wife as well. We have decided that we have to plant again.
So we're jumping.
Yeah.
So you're in Estonia. You experienced this amazing revival, and then you're 20. You finished school. How did?
I didn't finish.
Okay. I didn't mean to bring up a sore topic.
Yeah.
But
To be
you're
honest.
doing your PhD now, so you're still studying.
Yeah.
But how did you go from Estonia to Finland? I mean, it's not that far, but still.
Yeah. Well, when I was 20, I became ordained minister for the really small church in more east of Estonia.
Wait. How do you become an ordained minister at the age of 20? That's amazing.
In 1990s, everything was possible.
Oh, that's good. That's so cool. Wow.
Yeah, but I think I'm still youngest ordained.
To this day.
I was 19.
Wow.
Yeah, 19 was sorry. So so basically I was studying in the seminary. I was in mission course, 2 years mission course.
In Estonia.
In Estonia, yeah. And it was very common that seminary students went to serve small churches around Estonia. So we had, in the week time we were in seminary. For the weekends we went to serve the churches. So I was serving small church in a place called Rakke.
Rakke.
Yes.
That's fun to say. Yeah.
And when I was serving that church, I mean, lovely people, still really great connections there. But after a year and a half, I felt that something is wrong, and not with the church. I think more with the concept of the church.
Interesting.
And in that time, again, it was 90s. There were lots of mission organizations
of course,
coming to Estonia.
Yeah.
So what I saw was that these organizations were flourishing, but church was always kind of, and
were they not in the church? They were doing things outside of the church?
Yeah, but it was more like parachurch thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So, And somehow I created this theology that probably God has finished with the church. And is doing now, you know...
With the organization?
Yeah, because everything happened there, young people were there. And I was quite disappointed when I was reading like Acts and, you know, how early churches were acting. And I was like, okay, this is disconnected.
Interesting.
So I left this church as pastor. I became program director for the Christian radio in Estonia. And then from that, this is a long story, but I needed some, I had no degree on media or radio, so I wanted to study a little bit media. So I went to study to Finland.
Ah, here we are.
And on the same building, there was also a theological seminary where this radio, it was like 9 month or 1 year program. And, you know, on that journey, then I got to know the principal of the seminary. And he was a guy who really understood discipleship.
Interesting.
And I think until that point, I had no one in my life who I would say that he's my spiritual father, or so he became one.
He just started investing in you.
Yes, and I didn't understood why. But he was like inviting me to, hey, do you want to drive me to this place? And they invited us as family, you know, and they really became our parents basically in Finland. Through that relationship, somehow God started to heal me from this
pain over
idea
the church.
that church is gone. And I started to see something. And then, you know, maybe it's not so sexy to speak about Willow Creek those days, but for me the turning point was when this seminary had a trip to Willow Creek conference in Sweden. And I never been in Sweden. And when the principal asked that, do you want to come with us? I said, of course, yeah, I come. And I had no idea where I'm going. Never heard about Hybels or anything. But in this trip, you know, already when the first meeting started and the worship started, I felt really strong presence of God. And then Bill Hybels came to stage and confessed something about the relationships what they've had in their team, and this was kind of for me like, okay, this is interesting. I never seen Christian leader apologizing publicly about things.
If only he would have kept doing that.
Yes, so you got my attention because I'm coming from, you know, where
strong, you don't show weakness.
No emotions, no. You can't be weak.
Interesting.
And then Hybels started to describe the local church, the beauty of the local church. And on that moment, I was gone. So I was basically weeping and crying next 3 days. I don't remember any of the sessions, but I was just, you
touched
know,
by God.
The beauty of the local church was almost like blinding me. It was like, wow. And when I went back from that conference, it was like, I don't know how, I don't know with whom, when, where, but I feel that God is calling me to the local church. So I turned to the seminary and I got the pastor's degree and I became pastor of the Finnish Free Church.
Why did you not go back to Estonia?
Well, we went because, you know, on that time it was people went for good life into Finland. So we went back when I got the degree.
Wow.
We went back because we said that if God wanna we had lots of invitations from the churches who asked that, hey, could you consider to come to be youth pastor or pastor even?
In Finland?
In Finland.
Yeah.
And also from Estonia, but we felt that, okay, we are going back and we want to, we want to hear the calling to Finland.
That's good.
Yeah. So, and then in one day...
How long were you back in Estonia for then?
We were a little bit more than a year.
And you were working in a church there?
No. I was working in telecommunications. And it was kind of interesting time, we were starting to think about building the house and, getting your roots.
Yeah.
And then we got phone call from Finland, and it was one of the teachers in our seminary who said that, hey, we have felt already years that there is second largest city in Finland, and there is no free church. And we feel that God is calling us to plant it. So, and we have prayed, would you join us? And for us, this was like, okay, here's our, American dream.
Yeah.
Having house and
settling
dog
down
and babies and here is calling to Finland to go to unknown.
What is, I probably should know, but what is the second biggest city in Finland?
Espoo.
Espoo,
yeah.
And so you moved there and you planted a church?
Yes. So, and then, we didn't hear the voice or it was like just the knowing that if we don't go now, we will never go.
Yeah.
We will be here.
Absolutely.
So we went.
And then you planted that church, and are you still in that church?
Yeah, we are still members, and I'm pastor as well, but I was leading this church as senior pastor for 20 years. And we planted out from that church.
Okay, this is an important thing. Why? Was that normal? That, of course, now we planted a church and this church will continue planting. This kind of multiplication movement thinking, was that already just naturally in your DNA?
No.
Or where did that come from?
And this is why we did everything wrong. And these churches we planted, these churches are not anymore there. Yeah, the main church is, and it's strong church. It's, but it's like old church now. It was 2001.
Yeah.
So it's not anymore new church and has its own struggles. But what I understood in this process was that we were lonely rangers. We went without any kind of support, structures. Even our denomination. There was some structure, but it was all shut down because they had no more money. So basically we were like, okay, let's do it. And we went to this seminar and that seminar and tried to read some books and I mean, God was gracious. So many people came. We were growing like crazy, but we really didn't reach to the lost. So I think first, and this is a true story about our ability of making disciples. First person, I think it was 3 years after we started, came to Christ. And then he met Mormon girl and he became Mormon.
Oh no.
Yeah. So we were like, woohoo!
Oh no.
So, and you see, we have gone through this where you see that, and what we want to do now, that if someone has calling to plant, that there is this greenhouse around him or her and around
support
the
structures.
Yes. So and this has been all really, we with my wife Jana, we founded Church Planting Academy in Finland as the department of the theological seminary, and really to have everything it takes to plant healthy reproducing churches. So we are doing it together with all the denominations.
So when did you plant out of that church?
Yep.
When did you plant the daughter churches, or why?
Yeah.
Did someone come to you and say, "Hey, I want to plant a church,"
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
did you look for someone, or did you create some sort of pipeline, or?
Well, we were reading from the books that you have to be church planting church.
Wow. Okay.
So, but we had really no ability or kind of how
Understanding
do you start?
of how do you even build a system like that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So first church plant, I think it was 2004 maybe.
Well, quite early then. After.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was absolutely nothing to do with us. There was a group of Christians in the next city or the town who asked that, hey, we have already here like 50 people gathering.
Interesting.
So, and we're thinking about that, should we have church? And we said, yeah, of course, we can help you. And we helped them to plant the church.
Yeah.
And this was really, strong team. We were just coaching them, being there with them, giving everything we can. And then happened that there were 5 couples in the core. 4 or 5 couples moved from that town to other side of Finland.
Wow.
And so they struggled for some time, and then they just said that, okay, we have to close it down.
So how many churches did you plant out of the one church?
2.
2. And both of them no longer exist now?
Yeah.
For the same reason? Like, was it just people moving away, or?
Well, other one was a little bit more complicated. I think they were I would say, if you are looking for the church planters like candidates, they were like top notch, the best. Like the team was amazing. But sometimes even you have the greatest people, then something is happening, and there might be a theological crisis. You don't believe anymore what you are doing.
Wow.
Then every church planting team is attacked. In this team there was divorce happening. So, and if you have just small group of people and things like this are happening, in one point they just say that, okay, best thing to do is to close it down. And,
what would you do different now? Because they seem like external factors.
Yes. Kind of external, but I think there are quite many things. And we took responsibility of being Mother Church. It was kind of adopting their vision.
It wasn't birthed out of you.
Yes. So, and the connection was like when we said that, hey, like even all the things happened there, we said that maybe you should not become official now. Let's take time out and let's see where it goes. They didn't listen us. So it was like their vision, and they went, no, now it's time. And so it's kind of, I think mother should really own the baby. And this kind of adoption, I would love to know more if someone have succeeded on this type of church planting. But I think there are like different DNAs and kind of how do you really, and what is the role? I think in that case was that even we said that, hey, you should not give birth. They said that no, we will. And then there is no church today. So,
are these kinds of experiences would then let you to say, researching why is it working in other places? What was different? Or what was the
Yeah.
curiosity in even studying these movements?
Well, I would say one thing is that quite often wrong people are getting to lead of church plants. So this is why, for example, we have assessment process now, because like many of these troubles, we
Could have been avoided.
yeah,
If
by
that-
just asking. Yeah. And it's reality is, and now also, you know, when working with denominations, we think that we know our people,
Yeah.
but we don't.
Yeah.
You know.
That's interesting.
We know about people what they want us to know.
We've had a little bit of a development in Germany almost, I don't want to say away from assessment, but what we've realized with church multiplication, and this really I think is maybe another argument for it, is when we did church planter assessment, these church planters come 3 days, assessment weekend, they get put through psychological tests and spiritual tests, but you don't really know them.
Yeah, no.
Even in those 3 days, it's, you know, you can look at some things. But when they're coming out of your own congregation, you've walked with them for 2-3 years. I mean, I've had, multiple times we've had church planters that we're training and we tell them, we say, okay, let's train you for 2 years. And then we say, I think we'll do 3.
Yeah,
I think you need another year.
Yeah.
And then people were always saying, why don't you send them to assessment? I said, I think I know better than, you know,
Yeah,
and we've
yeah.
gone, we still, but I think church multiplication can be so helpful for the church planters because there's someone there that really has gotten to know them, has looked, has seen them
Yep.
in their marriage, has seen them with
Yep.
their family, has seen them,
Yeah.
how they respond in leadership, has seen them. So really, the assessment that even happens because it's if you really own, like you said, if you
Yeah.
really own this responsibility.
And you know, we don't call it assessment.
Yeah.
We call it church planter profile.
Yeah.
So, and I think, you know, more than, because we know in Finland, for example, I mean, you know everyone. It's a small place. So if you have someone who is unknown and will plant church, this is like news.
Unusual, yeah.
Yeah. So people who will plant, you know them. So more than assessment, we need to create profile that, okay, what kind of people do you need around you?
Yeah.
I mean, this
Help
is more
them build a
important.
team.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting.
Because you know, the tendency is, and especially with young people, that I'm able to do anything, and then you know,
Really?
older you get, more you get to the point that hey, well, you know, I'm not good in this or that.
Are
or,
church planters in Finland quite confident? Because the younger generation of church planters I'm seeing in Germany now, well, it depends maybe a little bit denominationally too,
Yeah.
and church model-wise. A lot of them tell me I would have never planted if you wouldn't have told me that I can do it. They're they're so insecure. They're so nervous. Also, we have very few this kind of pioneering situation where it's just the church planter, he goes. They always send out in a team.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. They're helping them build the right kind of team around them.
But you know, maybe I say it in another way. They think that they have to do everything and know everything.
Yes,
you know.
yes.
And this is also why most of the people they don't consider church planting because it's like
That's too much.
I can't be.
I can't do that.
They don't understand that it's all team effort.
Yes.
It's all about, you know,
Together planting.
You know, what are your strengths? What are your strengths? And that's the because I agree that especially working with young people,
They don't think they can do anything.
Yeah, almost. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to tell that that hey, you can do it. Yeah, yeah.
So people,
yeah.
when the church planters that we continue to mentor, even after we send them out, we still meet and say.
Yeah.
And people ask, so what do you do when they're already planting a church? Like, how do you coach them? How do you? And I said, I feel like 80% of what I do is I just encourage.
Yeah.
Because they're, in the beginning stage, oh no, what am I doing? They tell me, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And then I tell them, that's how you know you're planting a church. That feeling, it's very normal. But they just need so much encouragement, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have a system where they just dropped in, like you and me planted, I planted also. There's no system.
Yeah.
There's no one. No one asked, how are you doing? How's it going?
Yeah.
No one. It was just, I had to look for those people.
Yeah.
Because it was very lonely when I did it.
Yep, absolutely.
There's no peer-to-peer, no mentoring. It was
no. And we actively try to find, people that with whom I can. But
some people didn't do that, and it did not end up.
Yeah.
They should have done that.
That's true. That's true.
So, what is the church multiplication climate like in Finland? Would you say, when you look back now, has there been a shift?
It's complicated because. This is common to Nordic and Baltic region. When you are reading Acts in the Bible, in all language, there is no word multiplication existing.
Same in German.
Same day?
Same in German.
Yeah. So
we use the word multiplication in German, but it's like a mathematical word. It's not in the Bible.
Yes. So you don't use every day that I will multiply today.
No. Yeah. You use it more in the have kids or some biological sense maybe, but
yeah. So we don't have this idea or perspective at all. When Acts is talking about that church is multiplied, we have that. It's like it's crazy because when you are reading it in Greek and in most of the English language translations as well. It is multiplication, but then in these languages it's like. No, it's not there. So the whole concept.
So what does it say in Finnish?
It's adding, it's increasing.
Yeah.
It's increasing a lot. That's the most like.
That's as far as we go. It's a lot of it.
Yeah. So
I think in Germany it's like it's reproducing.
We don't have even reproducing.
But reproducing in like the sense of it's spreading. That's the word.
Spreading.
Yeah. But whatever that means. Somehow it's spreading. Yeah.
But the whole if you think like what you imagine when you read the text that something is growing, it's like it's growing.
There's a linguistic
by adding.
Factor. Yeah.
So what you are doing in the culture. When you're trying to what is multiplication really, and what we found parables, Jesus teaching on kingdom is maybe the closest we can give to understand the nature of
multiplication.
Yes, so it's and the closest If you're a farmer and you put one potato to the ground, you don't expect to get one potato.
That's not the expectation.
You expect that it will give you, it will die, and it will give you 10 potatoes or more even. Yeah. So and also
that's good.
In these days it's very popular to make your own sourdough bread.
Yes.
So you understand what it means to have this. What is the
Yeah, the sourdough starter.
Starter, yeah. So you are going to borrow starter from someone,
else,
and yeah,
and then you keep it, and then out of that you have many breads.
And then you understand that this little piece of this sourdough, it's the whole thing will be influenced. And this is multiplication, This is like.
So you use metaphors and images like that.
Yeah. Because like naturally we don't really have,
That's fascinating. So is that, would you say that's kind of where you are right now in Finland, and just trying to? I remember when we started with Exponential Europe, that was the first topic, right? It was igniting a culture of multiplication, and just starting to talk about the idea of multiplication and not just addition and what the difference is.
And this was exactly the session with Raphael Ansenberger, who had these acts. And he was like, 4 out of 5, it's translated multiply.
That's right, he did that video.
And 1 is increasing. And I said like, 5 out of 5, it's not multiplication in Finland. And this was big revelation for me that, oh wow, we have Bible who has no multiplication there.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Is the word used in other? So you do have. What do you do now? How do you translate multiplication? Is it just a mathematical word, or does it not exist even?
It exists, like multiplication. But I would say the road to the point where we understand that New Testament Christianity is by nature multiplied. That I'm disciple who is making disciple who is making disciples. I think we are pretty far from that, and maybe we need new revival to really raise the new generation of disciples who are living it through
that awareness or understanding.
Yeah.
What I've seen in Germany help is it McIntyre, who he has this quote who says, "You can't answer the question, what am I to do, before answering the question, what story am I part of?" And so we use that, and then we paint the picture of, do you understand what story you are a part of? And that multiplication and the story of a movement is not a new idea.
No.
Out of Adam and Eve, multiply and spread. And out of Noah, out of Abraham, and with you I will.
It's there.
It's all there. And then Jesus, one man, who then out of it, not a biological multiplication, but a spiritual multiplication. And I think helping people understand, this is the story that you are a part of. You as a disciple, you as a leader, you as a church. This is the story you're a part of. Now ask the question, what am I to do as a disciple, as a leader, as a church? If this is the story, then multiplication is what I am to do, because that's what the story is.
And then can you imagine that Jesus said that it's a good thing that I'm living?
Yes.
It's like, imagine today Jesus saying to church that it's a good thing, that
please don't leave.
Best preacher is
I'm going.
it's out. So it's but I see some signs of hope. I see some, I would call them kind of labs. For example, there is church in central Finland, and there was group of or small group basically in church, in a traditional free church, kind of big church, city church. And this small group was growing like crazy. And they started to think that, okay, could it be something more, inside the existing church?
Interesting.
They started to try different things. What if we have this community inside of our traditional church? So they started, and we were part of it, helping them, and they were part of M14 process, which gives you the process of really discovering and doing these bold moves. Okay, let's try that. oh, it doesn't work. Okay, let's do something else.
Yes.
So which is, you know,
Yes.
if you are trying,
risks,
if you are trying to do this with the whole church,
You can't.
you can't do it.
It's too risky. Yeah.
So innovation's always happening in margins.
Yeah.
And this is sometimes we forget. We want to change the whole church. No.
You need
have
pockets.
to. Yeah, you need pockets. You have to start something.
Starter.
Yeah. So, and they are in the process where it is community. Now they are asking, you know, it was a community, and now the version 2 is communities.
Oh, wow.
Because what they are doing, still part of existing church, being active there, but living this community life, reaching out, being missional. It's like having this different lifestyle, really.
And is the rest of the church responding positively to this, or are they a little bit worried? Like,
when they started, it wasn't so positive. It's kind of, okay, we allow you to do this.
Right.
But right now, when they are seeing that, okay, we are not losing people,
Yeah.
and maybe this is the way of the future for the city churches, where we have, you know, hundreds of these communities around our city who are active where they are, and reaching out really in personal contacts.
Yeah.
This is the way basically in Finland.
Well, this is
And then also, you know, basically all the boxes, like established churches, usually they don't reach people with the gospel. Okay, checked. They don't make disciples in the community. Checked.
Wow.
And they don't see people just living out the gospel in their everyday life. Checked.
Yeah.
So this is what this community is doing.
This community is doing all of those things that we don't see in the.
And they have their own small group
And
structure.
now they're thinking about starting other communities out of this.
Yes.
That is amazing.
And they're thinking about, you know, maybe this is the way how this.
How long since they started to where they are now?
I think it's been now like 3 years.
See, this is what people forget. This is also patience. And
absolutely.
Right. This is not a small. This is not a quick thing.
Yeah, and allow the creativity. And really, you know, okay, what if it's,
just try something.
Yeah, just try something. And I have to tell one thing, you know, every Easter they have this like happening. They have a university village on the same place where they live, most of them. So on Easter Sunday, they are doing hot dogs, and then outside, yeah. You know, and people are coming.
Yeah.
And then in Finnish, you know, it is finished. It is se on täytetty, which is it is filled. So, and then when people are coming, you know, they put
the hot dog.
Yeah, hot dog, mayo, you know, onion, whatever you want, and then in the end they are saying, "It is finished." Do you know where these words come from?
Oh.
So
what an idea!
Absolutely.
And then people have to listen because they want their hot dog. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, they are really innovative.
Cool.
On
just
trying things. And you know what is the most funny fact? The leading couple, they just retired. He is university professor, emerite professor, and then she is a teacher.
Wow.
And they are now.
It's not young people.
No. And it's like, but it's the community is cross-generational.
Oh, that's amazing.
They have all the generations.
How many
there.
people are in the community?
I think probably like 30 something.
That's quite big.
Yeah, I mean, it's already like a small church.
That is amazing.
But they are lay leaders, no, not pastors.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What a good note to end on. Hopeful. I feel like we were talking about so many pessimistic, you know, typical, you know, when a German and a Finnish get together, it's all pessimistic talk. No, this is hopeful. There's things happening, little pockets that we're seeing.
Absolutely.
The needle is shifting,
and
we hope to see more. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason.